What is up, everybody? It is Lawrence from Urban Trekker, and today we have a really special short from Veilance. I was a little skeptical about the price. It was $225 US, and I could not find it on sale, and so unfortunately I paid full price, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, I really want to try these shorts out. I'm in Mexico for about a month, and it gave me an excuse to actually buy a pair. But these come in 3 colors. This is the short itself. It is the Veilance Secant or Secant. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm probably gonna say Secant just because it rolls off the tongue a little bit better. If you know how to pronounce the name of this short, leave that in the comments below. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible so I can create more content. I feel like there's a hole in this specific segment of the review world, and if you guys can help me get there as soon as possible, that would be really awesome. Mainly because these materials are extremely expensive to buy and maintain a YouTube channel on, and for me to continue doing videos with high quality and high volume and things like that, I'm definitely going to need your support to be able to do that. And it is basically made out of 2 materials, which is what the comp stands for. So let's start this review with a review of the materials themselves. So the 2 materials are based out of 78% nylon and 22% elastane. The front pant, or the front panels of the pant, feel a lot more like a nylon material, and then the back of it feels much more like a stretchy, almost like a mesh, but it feels still like a nylon. It's somewhere in between there, even though it's still made out of 78% nylon. The reason they made the short this way is to have several properties. The first one is the front is a little more abrasion resistant, which is why they have the double weave. So there's 3 main elements of the short that make it interesting. The first one is that it's highly breathable. The material itself is highly breathable. One of the things about breathability is I was actually sitting in a ferry with those, you know, those really crappy plasticky type of back chairs that they use in public transportation. So it was that, and so when I sat down, and after probably 20-30 minutes on the ferry, I was sweating pretty profusely in the thigh, and so the back area was actually soaked because of the water from my sweat, and that luckily was also breathable as soon as I got up. You know, there's nothing you can do against that plastic that you're sitting on, but once I got up, you could feel the air basically moving in to basically take away that moisture that was in the back of the short. And basically, I think within, I'd say like 5 to 10 minutes of walking around, I no longer either felt it or the moisture itself was actually gone. And the second thing about the short is that it is water resistant. It is not waterproof, so there's still possibility for water to come in and soak it through. But for light rain and things like that, which you can actually see in the video that's here, you can see that it starts beating the water. There should be a DWR coating on it. It feels like there's a DWR coating on it based on how the water is beating. And so it's enough for light things, but you wouldn't want to wear the pant if you were going to be soaked in a rainforest or anything like that. Lastly, it is made out of to be anti-chafing, which is super interesting. It's actually, I don't know if it's a marketing scheme or anything like that, but most things coming from Veilance and or Arcteryx are pretty good at having a reason to exist instead of just marketing purposes. And so the inside of the pant actually has taped seams, which is completely and utterly overkill for 99.999. It's actually just overkill for 100% of the people in the world. But the idea behind it is that it's supposed to reduce anti-chafing. I personally don't chafe that much from any other shorts that I own, so I'm not too sure about the ability for this tape seam to make a huge difference from an anti-chafing perspective. If anyone has a short and they have trouble chafing with other shorts, definitely let me know. And this is not the same thing as a swim trunk. A lot of swim trunks that I have, I definitely do chafe in, and I wish there was a ways for me to get rid of that, but that's not what the short is used for. The other thing about the pant is that it's super stretchy, which is awesome, but just the back panel. The front panel, it doesn't stretch as much, but the back panel definitely does. And as you're kind of doing high knees or anything like that, that's super active, where you need to climb, the stretch in the back really does come in to help that out. And I thought that was really interesting. I felt that a lot when I was climbing rocks a little bit, which is not rock climbing little rocks. And so that was really comfortable for me. Going into the pockets, which for me is a huge reason why I love a pant or I hate a pant. I'm actually right now wearing Outlier New Way trunks before they were renamed the 5.5s. And one of my biggest gripes about these pants, and I'll eventually do some type of review on these, is the fact that I do not like the pocket scheme. But I love the pocket scheme in the Secant short. And the reason for that is I feel like the placements of the pockets are just in the right places where they don't get in the way. So there are 4 main pockets on the Secant shorts. There are 2 regular hand pockets that you just kind of go like this in, and then there are 2 zipper pockets on both sides right behind there. And they basically sit on the side of the thigh, which is amazing because I have other pants where they do have thigh pockets as well, but the thigh pockets actually go into the rear, or kind of where the thigh is over here. And so when you sit down, you're basically sitting on whatever you're on. And so if you're putting keys or anything over there, you know, you can obviously feel that. That's obviously not good for the material itself to be sitting on anything sharp. Or if you're putting like some type of bottle or anything like that, and you have this huge bulk over there at the back of the thigh. But where the Secant short is, it basically sits right on the side of your thigh over here, and you can't really sit on it, which is awesome. And I really, really like the placement. Where I do have an issue is what's really important for me is being able to fit the things that I need to fit into a pocket. And one of the biggest tests that I have for a travel pant is whether or not you can fit a passport comfortably in a zippered pocket. And the reason for that is you don't want to lose your passport ever. Like, you can lose money and you can probably get some more money later on, but that passport is huge, and not being able to have that swindled from you or taken from you or stolen from you or just forgetting it in some random place is super important. And so that passport pocket usability is not really there. It barely fits, as you can see in this footage. And I don't like that. I wish the pockets were just, I don't know, like even this smidge bigger for where that secure pocket is for the zippers, because that would have made it amazing. I normally actually have a case on my passport, and that case would not fit in that back pocket. There's nothing I could do about it. When it comes down to putting in a wallet, I have a relatively small wallet, as you can see, and it barely fits into the front pocket as well. So it definitely fits, it's not an issue, but anything bigger would definitely jut out, and I don't love that, because as you're traveling, you definitely do not want your pocket exposing your wallet, and then having that being able to be grabbable is not the best. So I wish the depth of the pockets were a little bit better. It could be that because I am a size small, that is a little smaller, and it could be that for people that have larger sizes, they don't have the same issue, but I would still say that the depth of the pockets themselves could be something that would be worked on. Net, the placement's awesome. The depth and kind of abilities to put stuff into the pockets, just a smidge off. I wouldn't say it's a huge problem. You fit most things in there, but for the things that are essential to me, I would want a little bit more space. The other thing that I really like about the shorts is that it's not a button enclosure. It actually has a drawstring, and that to me is huge. Just because when you have a travel pant, for me, I feel like having either a drawstring or some type of elastic enclosure just makes them a lot more comfortable, and they don't get in the way as much. And as you're climbing and doing random things like that, the button doesn't restrict you, and sometimes you kind of feel that on your belly button. And so with the drawstring, I definitely don't feel that. It's super comfortable, and I really like that about the pant. So I'm gonna end this review on sizing. The sizing for me was a small, to give you a little bit understanding of what this looks like from a fit perspective, as well as how it looks on my body. I believe it has a 7-inch inseam, which is just for me at my height, when I'm about 5'6". Just where I would want it to end for a longer short. I typically like wearing shorter shorts, so it was a little bit different for me in terms of how I normally wear shorts, but I'm okay with it. The second thing on the fit is that the thighs are not as forgiving as you would want. I have relatively thick athletic thighs, and the short basically just gives me enough room to breathe. Without the stretchability of that back panel of the short, I would not be in comfort in any way, shape, or form. It would definitely be too tight, but because the short itself is relatively tapered and tailored, it looks good on me, which is awesome. So I feel like there's a dual purpose on both activewear and being able to kind of wear this out at night as well. So if you're looking for a roomy short, this is not the short to go with. It is definitely a fitted, tailored fit when it comes down to shorts. Most of my shorts have relatively flared out legs, and I like that comfort and that breathability, but it gives me a very different kind of tailored look, which I do like, and it does make a big difference in terms of having another short that is different than my current rotation. It's also a little bit longer than my typical short, which gives me a little of a tech wear, urban wear type vibe. On the waistband, I'm normally a 32-inch waistband pretty much across the board, so I wear that on Lululemon and pretty much every other pants. Typically in jeans, I'm a 31, and that typically means a medium in other brands and things like that. For the Secant short, I was actually able to go with a small. Maybe it's vanity sizing, I'm not 100% sure, but the small does measure at a 32 inch. And so anyone that's looking for something smaller, so if you're a 30 waist, you know, you probably need an extra small. I don't even know if it comes in that. I would have to check the website, or you can check the website. I would say that on the 32 inch waist, or with a small size waist on the Secant short, it fits exactly perfectly. So the sizing was absolutely perfect. I don't need to use a drawstring, and I don't use a drawstring to tighten it up. That's how well it fits me. It just like hugs the butt just really, really well. And so I don't have any issues with that in any way. But with that said, I think if you are a 32 inch person, if you want something that's a little bit more roomy and you do want to be able to use a drawstring and have a little more of a relaxed fit, going to medium would be a good idea. And that's it for the review of the Secant shorts. Definitely leave any comments that you have below if you have any questions about the short itself. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.